Imagine a place where kings and queens still influence traditions, where medieval castles stand side by side with modern skyscrapers, and where pop culture has shaped entire generations. This place is the United Kingdom, a nation that blends ancient history, global power, and a cultural diversity that fascinates the world. Located in Europe, the United Kingdom consists of 4 countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Each has its own identity, but together they form a cultural and historical powerhouse that has left deep marks on every continent. From the times of the British Empire, which once ruled nearly a quarter of the planet, to the present day as a financial, cultural, and political hub, the UK is a land that breathes influence. It is impossible to understand the modern world without understanding the weight of this nation. But the UK is not just history and power. It is also a stage for unique traditions, like the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace, Scottish bagpipes echoing through the Highlands, and Welsh rugby celebrated almost as a sacred ritual. Every corner of the country reveals a surprising aspect of its soul. London, its capital, is considered one of the most influential cities on the planet. Home to the royal family, the famous Tower Bridge, Big Ben, and extraordinary museums, the city is a true mosaic of cultures, where the old and new meet in a magnetic way. Scotland, in turn, has an unmistakable charm. Its castles, legends of monsters like the Loch Ness monster, and wild landscapes form an almost mythical setting. It is a land of warriors, national pride, and scenery that seems taken straight from epic films. Wales is known as the land of castles. Hundreds are scattered across its mountains and valleys, witnesses to a past full of battles and conquests. Its ancient language and warm people preserve traditions that withstand the test of time. In Northern Ireland, the magic of nature is revealed in landscapes like the Giant's Causeway, an impressive geological formation said to have been built by giants. It is a land of myths, literature, and settings that inspired productions like Game of Thrones. The UK is also the birthplace of music that changed the world. The Beatles, Rolling Stones, Queen, Adele, and many others were born here, making the country a global reference in art and pop culture. You can't help but feel the musical energy pulsating through its streets and pubs. Now that you've started diving into this fascinating country, I want to know, would you like to discover all the secrets, stories, and curiosities of the United Kingdom with me until the end of this journey? If there is a heart that beats strongly in the United Kingdom, it is London. The English capital is one of the most visited cities in the world and is home to symbols that have made it unforgettable. Big Ben, with its famous clock, is perhaps the most recognized postcard of London, but few know that Big Ben is not the name of the tower but of the bell inside. The tower itself is called Elizabeth Tower, in honor of Queen Elizabeth II. Another iconic landmark is Tower Bridge, the bascule bridge that opens to allow ships to pass on the Thames River. Opened in 1894, it combines Victorian Gothic style with the modern engineering of its time, and still impresses with its beauty and technology. But London is not just monuments. It is also a city of living history, where Westminster Abbey has hosted coronations, weddings, and funerals of British kings and queens for centuries. And of course, Buckingham Palace, the official residence of the monarchy, is the stage for the traditional changing of the guard, a spectacle that attracts crowds daily. Beyond royalty, London is synonymous with art and culture. Museums like the British Museum and the National Gallery hold treasures that tell the story of humanity. Best of all, many offer free entry, reflecting the idea that culture should be accessible to all. The city also knows how to be modern. Canary Wharf, the skyscraper The Shard, and the London Eye, the futuristic Ferris wheel on the Thames, show how London uniquely combines tradition and innovation. And if anything gives the city its soul, it is its diversity. More than 300 languages are spoken in London, making it a true global metropolis where cultures, religions, and traditions coexist side by side, enriching every corner. Walking through London is like traveling through time. One moment you face medieval buildings, and the next, modern structures full of lights. Few cities offer this sense of past, present, and future, coexisting in perfect harmony. But London is only the beginning of this adventure through the UK. In the next parts, we'll explore other equally fascinating regions that reveal the true spirit of this nation. If London is the heart of the UK, Scotland is the mysterious soul, guarding legends and breathtaking landscapes. Its territory is marked by towering mountains, medieval castles, and deep lakes that seem to hide ancestral secrets. One of its most famous symbols is Loch Ness, home to the legendary creature known as Nessie. For decades, locals and tourists have reported sightings of a mysterious figure emerging from the waters, making the lake one of the country's most visited sites. Edinburgh, the capital, seems straight out of a fairy tale. Edinburgh Castle, perched on a volcanic rock, dominates the landscape and holds centuries of stories about battles, kings, and queens. Walking along the Royal Mile is like traveling back in time among historic pubs and stone houses. Glasgow surprises with its vibrant modern spirit. Known as Scotland's cultural capital, the city breathes art, music, and innovative architecture. It is also home to one of the UK's most influential music scenes. And we cannot forget the famous Highlands, Scotland's Highlands. This cinematic landscape with green valleys, crystal-clear lakes, and misty mountains conveys a magical, almost untouched atmosphere. Many epic films were shot here, reinforcing the region's legendary aura. Scotland is also known for its rich culture, including the unmistakable sound of bagpipes, traditional kilts, and a literary tradition that produced writers like Robert Louis Stevenson and Sir Walter Scott. Another highlight is the production of the famous Scottish whiskey, considered among the best in the world. Each region has its style, and tasting it in the country itself is almost a must-do experience. Finally, the Scots carry a unique pride in their traditions and history. Although part of the UK, Scotland maintains a strong national identity, visible in its flag, Gaelic language, and even in politics. Exploring Scotland is discovering a land where reality blends with legend, and it is exactly this combination that makes the country one of the most fascinating in the United Kingdom. If Scotland is the land of legends, Northern Ireland is where nature manifests in almost supernatural forms. Its most famous landmark is the Giant's Causeway, a geological formation of over 40,000 hexagonal basalt columns that look hand-carved. Legend says they were built by giants, while science explains they formed after ancient volcanic eruptions. Belfast, the capital, has been marked by conflicts but now symbolizes overcoming and renewal. The city houses the famous Titanic Museum, telling the story of the world's most iconic ship built in Belfast's shipyards. Belfast's streets are also known for their political murals depicting decades of divisions between Catholics and Protestants. Today, these murals have become true works of urban art, telling a painful but essential story to understand the country. The Antrim coast offers cinematic scenery, with huge cliffs and wild beaches. It has been chosen as a filming location for Game of Thrones, attracting thousands of fans every year. The countryside is equally enchanting, with medieval castles holding stories of kings, knights, and battles. Dunluce Castle, in ruins atop a cliff, conveys a magical and melancholic atmosphere. Northern Ireland is also marked by Celtic traditions and a strong connection to nature. Its green landscapes combined with mysterious fog and wind create a perfect setting for legends and folk tales. Interestingly, despite being part of the UK, many Northern Irish culturally identify with Ireland. This creates a unique duality where identity, religion, and politics blend with local traditions. Another hallmark is traditional music, echoing through pubs and festivals. Violins, bagpipes, and drums bring to life songs that have lasted centuries and remain essential to the people's identity. Today, Northern Ireland presents itself as a rising tourist destination, combining history, culture, nature, and warm hospitality. It's a place that impresses both for its beauty and the resilience of its people. Exploring Northern Ireland is walking through a land that balances past and future, pain and hope, reality and myth. It is undoubtedly a fundamental gem of the United Kingdom. After exploring Scotland and Northern Ireland, it's impossible not to talk about Wales, one of the most charming regions of the United Kingdom. Although often less remembered, it holds one of the richest cultures and a very strong identity, marked by legends, traditions, and a unique language. Welsh, a Celtic language still widely spoken, carries centuries of history and cultural resilience. In many towns, you will find bilingual signs and hear locals speaking a language that seems to come from another era. Wales is known as the land of castles, and this is no exaggeration. Hundreds of castles are scattered across its mountains and valleys, witnesses to a past full of battles and conquests. Its ancient language and warm people preserve traditions that resist the passage of time. The capital, Cardiff, combines tradition and modernity. The historic centre preserves ancient buildings, while renewed areas like Cardiff Bay showcase a cosmopolitan and vibrant side of the country. Despite its small territory, Wales holds an immense wealth of culture, nature, and history. It is a place that surprises those who go beyond the obvious and immerse themselves in its unique identity. Traveling through Wales is discovering a universe of myths, music, and landscapes, where every detail conveys pride and authenticity. The United Kingdom is not only a country of historic traditions and epic landscapes, but also a true cultural epicenter that has influenced and continues to influence the entire world. From literature to music, film to fashion, its presence is felt in virtually every area of global culture. In literature, one cannot ignore authors like William Shakespeare, considered the greatest playwright in history. His works, written over 400 years ago, are still studied, performed, and reinterpreted worldwide, proving the timelessness of his genius. The UK also gave the world stories that marked generations, like Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes and J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter, turning British castles and landscapes into magical settings for fans of all ages. British music revolutionized modern culture. In the 1960s, the so-called British invasion, led by the Beatles, changed the way the world consumed music. Bands like the Rolling Stones, Queen, Pink Floyd, and later Oasis and Coldplay cemented the UK as the birthplace of timeless icons. British cinema has also left its mark, with actors and actresses becoming Hollywood legends. Franchises like James Bond were born in the UK and became global symbols of espionage, charm, and action. Fashion is another strong point. London is considered one of the world's fashion capitals, influencing trends for decades. British designers like Alexander McQueen and Vivienne Westwood challenged norms and created styles that became reference points. Theatre also holds a prominent place. London's West End is often compared to New York's Broadway, attracting millions of visitors yearly for shows ranging from classics to modern productions. Even sports carry enormous cultural weight. English football is seen as the most competitive in the world, with legendary clubs like Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea attracting fans across the globe. It is impossible to deny that the United Kingdom has shaped global culture in multiple dimensions. Today, it continues to be a point of reference, constantly innovating and exporting trends. Immersing in its culture is understanding the strength of a country that, despite its limited geography, reached the entire world through ideas, art, music, and talent. Besides its globally recognized culture, the UK also stands out as a scientific, academic, and technological powerhouse. Its universities and research centers are world-renowned, attracting thousands of students from all over the globe. The University of Oxford, founded in the 12th century, is considered the oldest in the English-speaking world and one of the most respected academic institutions in history. Its architecture impresses as much as its alumni, which include prime ministers, writers, scientists, and Nobel Prize winners. Next door, the University of Cambridge also shines as a symbol of excellence. Brilliant minds like Isaac Newton and Stephen Hawking developed ideas there that forever transformed science and our understanding of the universe. The UK was the birthplace of discoveries that changed humanity, such as Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, Alexander Fleming's penicillin, and the DNA structure unraveled by Watson and Crick in Cambridge. In technology, the country played a crucial role, being home to Alan Turing, considered the father of modern computing. His work during World War II helped decrypt Nazi codes, shortening the conflict and saving millions of lives. Even today, London and other major UK cities attract startups and innovation companies, consolidating the country as one of Europe's most important tech hubs. British medicine is also respected worldwide, with hospitals, research institutes, and scientists constantly developing treatments and advances. The NHS is considered one of the largest public healthcare systems on the planet. The UK's academic influence also extends to law, economics, and social sciences. Many international institutions and modern legal models were inspired by the British system. This intellectual and innovative strength not only shaped the UK, but also helped shape the world we live in today. Visiting the country is not only about encountering tradition and history, but also facing a dynamic present and a future in constant construction. The UK is also a country of cultural diversity. Over the centuries, it has welcomed peoples, traditions, and influences from all over the world, which are reflected in the daily life of its cities. London, for example, is one of the most multicultural cities on the planet. Over 300 languages are spoken on its streets, and entire neighborhoods reflect Indian, Pakistani, African, Caribbean, Chinese, and many other communities. This mix has transformed British cuisine. Today, it is impossible to talk about food in the UK without mentioning internationally inspired dishes like Indian curry, which has become so popular, it is considered almost British. Still, traditional cuisine remains strong. Dishes like fish and chips, English breakfast, and shepherd's pie remain national symbols, conveying the simplicity and flavor of British daily life. Festivals and celebrations also reflect this diversity. Caribbean parades like the Notting Hill Carnival coexist with traditional events like Trooping the Colour, which celebrates the monarch's official birthday. Diversity is also present in music and fashion. Street-born styles like punk, grime, and Britpop show how different cultural influences merge to create global trends. The UK has become a true human mosaic, where ancient traditions coexist with modern customs, creating a rich environment full of experiences. This plurality makes every visit unique and full of unexpected discoveries. Traveling through the UK is diving into a space where every corner can reveal a new language, dish, or story. This mix is what strengthens the country, making it one of the most interesting places to understand how distinct cultures can coexist in harmony. Besides its cities, the United Kingdom is blessed with breathtaking natural landscapes. From the Scottish fjords to the rolling green hills of Wales, the country offers scenery that seems straight out of fairy tales or epic films. The Scottish Highlands are a perfect example. Mist-covered mountains, crystal-clear lakes, and historic villages create a mystical atmosphere. Many say this is where the true spirit of Scotland breathes, with every stone seeming to carry centuries of history. In Wales, Snowdonia National Park is a destination for adventurers and nature lovers. Trails, lakes, and challenging peaks attract tourists seeking authentic experiences and direct contact with natural beauty. Northern Ireland features the Giant's Causeway, a unique geological formation. Each basalt column is a natural masterpiece, and local legends about giants make the visit even more intriguing. The British coastline also stands out. Dramatic cliffs, golden beaches, and fishing villages compose scenes that have inspired artists and writers for generations. Destinations like Cornwall and Pembrokeshire are perfect for exploring the sea and local culture. The lakes in England's Lake District offer landscapes that delight all the senses. It's an ideal place for hiking, boating, and contemplation, and it inspired poets like William Wordsworth. We must not forget the British islands such as Orkney, Shetland, and the Hebrides, which preserve unique traditions and provide direct contact with nearly untouched nature. Each island is its own universe, full of stories, legends, and natural beauty. The UK thus combines a variety of landscapes from mountains and lakes to beaches and rocky coasts, making each region surprisingly unique. Exploring British nature is understanding how the country blends tradition, myth, and modernity in scenes that remain etched in memory forever. This diversity of landscapes shows that the UK is not only urban culture and history, but also a destination where nature and adventure coexist in perfect harmony. The UK is also famous for its legends and myths, which have lasted for centuries and continue to fascinate visitors worldwide. Each region has stories blending reality and fantasy, creating a magical setting few countries can offer. Scotland, for example, is home to the Loch Ness monster, a creature reportedly dwelling in the deep waters of Loch Ness. Every year, thousands of tourists visit the lake hoping to spot Nessie, becoming part of an almost mystical tradition. In Wales, stories of King Arthur and Camelot permeate castles, forests, and hills. Legend says the legendary king ruled these lands, and each stone and ruin seems to tell a chapter of these epic adventures. Northern Ireland is also marked by myths, with reports of giants and supernatural creatures inhabiting mountains, rivers, and cliffs. The Giant's Causeway, for instance, is surrounded by tales of colossal battles between giants, making the local geology even more fascinating. Beyond legends, the UK is rich in fantasy literature inspired by these traditions. Works like Harry Potter and the Chronicles of Narnia were created from local settings, castles, and stories, spreading British magic worldwide. Even architecture carries traces of ancient myths. Medieval castles and Gothic cathedrals seem to come from magical tales, and walking through them feels like stepping into a fantastical universe where history and myth intertwine. British popular culture also celebrates these myths in festivals, plays, and exhibitions. Museums dedicated to legendary stories and guided castle tours allow tourists to experience these narratives immersively. And it's not just fantasy. Many legends are connected to real historical events, making the experience even more intriguing. History and myth combine, sparking curiosity and admiration. Exploring the UK's myths and legends is diving into a dimension where the past comes alive, and the visitor's imagination is stimulated at every turn. If you love mysterious stories and adventures, get ready. In the next parts, we'll discover more about modern life, traditions, and secrets that make the UK unforgettable. The UK is also known for its vibrant urban life, where tradition and modernity coexist impressively. Cities like London, Manchester, and Birmingham are true centers of culture, business, and entertainment. London, for example, is not only historic but also a hub for technology, fashion, and innovation. Neighborhoods like Shoreditch show how urban art, startups, and youth culture transform the ever-evolving cityscape. Manchester is famous for its music and football, but also for its industrial architecture dating back to the Industrial Revolution. Old factories have been transformed into art galleries, bars, and cultural spaces, keeping historical heritage alive. Birmingham combines industry, commerce, and tradition. With over 200 navigable canals, the city is known as the Venice of the North and offers unique tours that combine history and leisure. Edinburgh, besides being a historic center, hosts global festivals like the Fringe Festival, the largest performing arts festival in the world, attracting artists and audiences from all over the planet. Glasgow mixes Scottish tradition with cultural modernity. Museums, theaters, live music, and innovative architecture turn the city into a hub of creativity and innovation without neglecting tradition. The UK also hosts vibrant markets, historic pubs, and cafes that act as gathering points for locals. Each city has its own identity, but all share British charm. Moreover, urban life is marked by major sports events, from Premier League football matches to horse racing, attracting crowds and forming part of local tradition. Walking through these cities shows how past and present coexist harmoniously. Historic monuments alongside innovation centers and ancient traditions alongside modern trends. This urban diversity shows that the UK is not only about natural landscapes or ancient legends, but also a living, pulsating country that inspires creativity and fascination in every visitor. The UK is also famous for its unique cuisine, blending centuries-old traditions with global influences. From classic dishes to modern creations, British cuisine is a true journey of flavors and history. Fish and chips is the most iconic dish, representing the simplicity and flavor of the UK. Served in paper with vinegar or tartar sauce, it has become a national symbol and a favorite for tourists and locals alike. The traditional English breakfast, with eggs, beans, bacon, sausage, and toast, is a morning ritual that delights those seeking a flavorful start to the day. Each breakfast is an immersion into local culture. Afternoon tea is another British tradition that conquered the world. Tea served with scones, jams, and delicate sandwiches has become synonymous with elegance, refinement, and moments of pause amidst urban bustle. Craft beer and British pubs are fundamental to the experience. Each pub has its own story and atmosphere, offering everything from classic beers to new creations that delight food enthusiasts. Regions have their own specialties. In Scotland, haggis is traditional. In Wales, cawl, a rustic soup, represents rural cuisine. In Northern Ireland, Ulster fry is a breakfast staple. The UK is also famous for its baking and sweets. Puddings, pies, and cakes are part of a centuries-old tradition, preserving family recipes and unmistakable flavors. Scottish whiskey, considered among the best in the world, tells a story with each sip. Traditional distilleries, ancestral techniques, and artisanal care make it a cultural heritage. Exploring British cuisine is more than eating. It's immersing in the culture, tradition, and creativity of a people who value every detail of their food. Every meal becomes an opportunity to discover the UK's history, diversity, and spirit, making the travel experience complete and unforgettable. The United Kingdom is also a country of festivals and celebrations, which show its rich history, traditions, and diversity. From royal ceremonies to music festivals, there is something for every taste and interest. One of the most famous events is the Trooping the Colour, which celebrates the official birthday of the monarch. The ceremony is full of military precision, royal guards in traditional uniforms, and public admiration. In Scotland, Hogmanay is the celebration of the new year, with street parties, fireworks, and customs that trace back to ancient times. It's one of the most lively and unique festivities in the world. Wales has Eisteddfod, a festival dedicated to literature, music, and performance, celebrating the country's ancient language and artistic traditions. London hosts a huge variety of international events, such as the Notting Hill Carnival, celebrating Caribbean culture with music, dance, and vibrant colors, and the London Film Festival, attracting celebrities and movie enthusiasts. Music festivals like Glastonbury are globally recognized, bringing together artists from all genres and creating an experience that combines music, culture, and social interaction. Sports events are also celebrated with great enthusiasm, from football matches to horse racing, forming part of British social and cultural life. Festivals in the UK are more than entertainment. They are cultural expressions that unite people, preserve traditions, and showcase the country's diversity to the world. Participating in these events is immersing in British life, understanding its rhythm, its joys, and the values that have been transmitted for generations. The United Kingdom is also a country of architectural treasures. From medieval castles to modern skyscrapers, its buildings tell centuries of history and creativity. London's iconic landmarks, such as the Tower of London, Buckingham Palace, and Westminster Abbey, reflect the monarchy's influence and England's deep-rooted history. In Scotland, Edinburgh Castle dominates the skyline, and its historic streets resemble a journey back in time. Gothic cathedrals, ancient universities, and royal palaces make Scotland a country of monumental architecture. Wales, known as the Land of Castles, preserves hundreds of fortresses, many built during the Middle Ages, each with its own story of battles and conquests. Northern Ireland combines natural wonders with historic architecture. The Giant's Causeway contrasts with nearby castles, showing the fusion of nature and human creation. Modern architecture also stands out. London's Shard and the city skyscrapers showcase innovation and creativity, reflecting a country that honors history but embraces the future. British bridges, parks, and public spaces also reveal care for aesthetics and urban planning. Cities like Bath and Oxford combine historical preservation with cultural vitality. Traveling through the UK is a journey through time, from ancient stones to contemporary designs showing a people who value art, history, and innovation. Every street tower or monument tells a story, making the UK an open-air museum where past and present coexist beautifully. The United Kingdom is also a country of sports, which are deeply rooted in its culture and daily life. Football, cricket, rugby, and tennis are more than games. They are part of national identity. English football is world famous, with clubs like Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal attracting millions of fans. Matches are intense, full of emotion, and often become unforgettable experiences for tourists and locals alike. Cricket, considered a traditional sport, is still highly popular in England and attracts audiences in stadiums and on television. Matches are moments of socialization and national pride. Rugby, especially in Wales, has a strong cultural presence. National competitions and international matches are celebrated passionately, reflecting the sport's importance in local traditions. Tennis also plays an important role. Wimbledon, the oldest tennis tournament in the world, is a symbol of elegance, history, and high-level competition, attracting the best athletes and fans worldwide. Sports events are more than competitions. They are social experiences, celebrations of culture, and opportunities to witness teamwork, skill, and tradition in action. The UK shows that sports are not just entertainment, but a way to strengthen identity, community, and pride in history. Finally, the United Kingdom is a country of contrasts and surprises. From ancient castles to modern skyscrapers, from lush mountains to lively cities, it is a destination that fascinates all kinds of travelers. Its rich history, myths, and legends coexist with innovation and global influence. Its landscapes from the Highlands to Cornwall's cliffs captivate nature lovers. Its culture from literature to music continues to inspire the world. The UK's diversity, tradition, and modernity create a unique identity, making every visit a journey of discovery, emotion, and learning. Traveling through the United Kingdom is more than a tour. It is an immersion into centuries of history, culture, and human creativity. Every corner tells a story, every city offers a new perspective, and every landscape surprises. The United Kingdom is, without a doubt, a country that leaves marks in memory and imagination, a place where past, present, and future come together to create unforgettable experiences. Whether exploring natural landscapes, historical sites, urban life, or cultural traditions, the UK always has something unique to offer. It is a country that combines beauty, intelligence, and creativity, inviting travelers to discover, explore, and fall in love with its charms.